Socrates once said, "The unexamined life is not worth living." I'm James Esquire, and as a practicing attorney for more than 20 years, one of the challenges that I've tried to understand better is why, with more technology, more data, content available for us attorneys, are we becoming more stressed, more anxious, more burnt out? According to the American Bar Association 2024, attorneys are growing more stressed by the numbers on average than they were just last year in 2023. And those numbers were up from the year before. And this ongoing cycle of increased stress, anxiety, worry is something that if we don't think about as a body of practitioners in law to do something different in order to solve this problem, we're just going to grow more and more crazy over time and less happy, fulfilled with what we do as practicing attorneys. So I want to give you some food for thought as you may be struggling in your own practice, in your own life. Because let's face it, while we want to increase our skills, increase our success, achieve more, do more, become more, have more as attorneys, if we do not examine our own lives, examine our own thinking, examine the subconscious ways that we approach the challenges of life, then nothing will get better. It's easy to get on the hamster wheel of thinking, I just need to do more and then I will be satisfied. If I just earn more this year, then I'll be able to have that sense of happiness and fulfillment that I've been looking for years now. But the truth is, the longer I've been in practice, the more I've realized that fulfillment in the practice of law is not something we can achieve out there by doing more, by winning more cases, by having higher paying clients. If inside of us, both in our mind and in our soul, we are not living in a way that is fulfilling, then we will be on the edge of major stress and burnout our entire career. So let's think about what Socrates said. An unexamined life is not worth living. How is that so? In law school, most of our professors use the Socratic method. And yet many of us don't realize that Socrates himself, a philosopher who sought to understand life, learned more by asking questions. Hence the Socratic method, which is learning through questioning in order to better understand things. So my first suggestion, if you are really struggling with stress, anxiety, worry, burnout, whether it's in your practice, whether it's with a business partner, or whether it's at home, maybe with a spouse or with children, or some financial issue that suddenly hits you, start taking more time on a regular basis from day to day to examine your life, to examine the way you think. In many cases, our thoughts are the problems that we can't get beyond because we keep thinking the same thoughts. For example, if I keep thinking, if I only work harder, if I only work more hours, if I only earn more money by doing so, then I will be truly happy. That thought may not be true. And yet if you're locked into living in a particular habit or pattern based on those kinds of thoughts, then you will just go in circles. Be like a dog chasing his tail. Be like a hamster on the hamster wheel who just tries to run faster but gets nowhere. because the hamster is stuck on the wheel. My challenge to you is think more about your thoughts. Take the time to examine your own life. What are some of the unspoken principles that you live by, or some of the false beliefs that you may be operating from that may actually be causing more harm, more damage, more stress, more worry, more anxiety in your life, and ultimately can only lead to burnout until you begin to shift your thinking. And it's so simple when we begin to understand the power of our own thoughts, how much our thoughts can impact the quality of our life, the feeling of happiness and fulfillment. If we just blindly follow the ways that we think other successful attorneys have lived their lives or practiced law without really understanding how it either syncs up with our values or not, we may just be blindly running into a hole or a cavern that we couldn't see from a distance, but that is right upon us once we get to the end of living out through a certain principle, a certain mistaken belief. And often it's not because we are idiots or stupid or haven't learned enough, but sometimes we just fail to take the time to question whether the principles we're living by are actually going to work for us, going to bring us the things that we're looking for. Begin examining your life. Begin examining and questioning whether what you're doing is in line with who you want to be, is in line with who you really believe yourself to be. Because I think even if we just start there, asking ourselves, am I really connecting to a deeper sense of myself, a deeper sense of purpose in myself? Am I connecting to that person who, as a law student, had major hopes for being a particular kind of attorney to make a difference in the world before the stress of bills, keeping our boss happy, maybe running a practice, having to pay off student loans? It seemed almost impossible, so we just worked harder. We worked longer hours. We just got on this hamster wheel of life that ultimately has made us feel stuck. The solution isn't necessarily just work more, just do more. The solution can be as simple as changing your thinking from doing more to examining myself and possibly being more and allowing myself to be in congruence with deeper principles in the world. Deeper principles like justice. Justice in its deepest form is something we will never fully reach or understand or achieve, but when we think about our practice from the lens of seeking to achieve justice, it can in many ways immortalize our work because we are working for something greater than just this one particular case file or this one client and their particular struggle. To becoming someone who embodies justice so that whoever we're working with as a client, we are seeking something greater for that client, but also for the legal system, for the legal community that we're in. To be someone different, to be someone who brings a deeper sense of power and impact, because we're not just concerned about making money off this case or winning this particular case. Anybody who's been in practice for 5, 10, 15, 20 years will realize we can work so hard at achieving certain things, like winning a big trial. And that's a great thing. Achieving that and having success and feeling good about that builds our confidence, helps us to develop our skills as attorneys. But ultimately, if all we're focused on is winning, once we win, we realize there's not much fulfillment in that. There may be fulfillment if you're also increasing your income when you win a case. There may be fulfillment and satisfaction by helping a client through a very difficult situation. But those are other supplemental goals that actually can bring more meaning and value, such as I can take care of my family better when I succeed in the practice of law. It's not just for me to win, so I can tout that, something that makes me successful or makes me feel important. Because once we win, what happens? We can bask in the glory and the happiness of that, maybe for a day or two, or maybe even a week. But we go on to the next case. There's still something missing in us because we have not uncovered what really makes us feel connected to our professional work, what really gives us purpose. When you begin to examine your own life, to drill down, to understand what gives you purpose, meaning, value, beyond just winning a case or beyond just getting a new client who pays you a good sum of money, you begin to realize that what you are becoming by tapping into your deeper purpose as an attorney in this world to make a difference in a particular way that is unique to you is so much more valuable in terms of a sense of fulfillment that you'll be happy to stop running the rat race or getting on the hamster wheel again just to run incessantly, reaching no goals. As I sit in the sun right now, it's a beautiful day in the fall of October. I thought about these questions because when I just look around and I see colors, leaves changing, and I hear the breeze and feel this sense of existence, the sense of some hidden, mysterious power that continues to bring life to everything that is around me. It made me think about this question. What is my own purpose? Am I asking myself the right questions in order to find better answers? Sometimes the value or the quality of our life is based also on the quality of our questions. If I'm just asking the question, how can I make more money next year as an attorney? I will only be looking for answers that will provide a solution to that question. But if I ask myself, what can I do that will provide more meaning and value in my life? How can I tap into my deeper purpose as a practicing attorney who wants to make a difference in this world? Then I will be looking for very different answers and solutions. And that all starts by taking time to examine our own lives, our own thoughts, asking ourselves, are we doing the things that will bring us to that place in life we really want to arrive at? Or are we just doing what we think successful attorneys should do? Or, even worse yet, are we doing things out of fear because we are afraid of really going for that greatness that on some deep level we do feel we're capable of, but maybe from some past failure or past problems or past struggles that seem to be too much, we stop trying for more. We give in to becoming more apathetic, to just accepting mediocrity. But if you take the time, even today, just restarting, rethinking, recalibrating the way that you approach your own life and your own practice as a busy attorney, you can begin to allow some of that stress and worry that leads to burnout simply dissolve when you start to examine your own inner thoughts and what motivates you, what makes you happiest or more fulfilled, and then looking for ways to tap into your deeper purpose. So take some time to think about what Socrates said: an unexamined life is a life unfulfilled, is not even worth living. There's so much more that you can have if you want it. You just take the time to examine your own life and your own thoughts. I'm James Esquire. Let's go thrive. Examine your life, examine your thoughts, transform your life.